Why does forest level music sound so fragrant? Music is usually abstract. It paints in moods, memories, sometimes entire cultures. But forest teams, they smell like something. They taste like something. You can practically feel the moss between your paws. What could sound like moss? Why does rusty bucket bass sound so rusty? Why does Gerudo Desert sound like it's actively trying to dehydrate you? And why does forest music smell like sunlight filtered through leaves? It's too easy to brute force a forest level song with flutes. So, in this episode of the Curiosity Bop, we're exploring the invisible but unmistakable perfume of the woods. Through chords, scales, melodies, and textures, we'll uncover how game composers make us smell pine needles using sound. I kid you not. Let's open the shop, shall we? As I sniffed through dozens of forest level tracks, and accidentally stepped in one mushroom circle too many. And it hit me. I realized they tend to fall into four scent-inspired categories: sweet, musty, minty, and pungent. Let's start with the sweet. These forests burst with color. They don't whisper, they sing. Their perfume, honey pines up with a dash of optimism. First up, Click Clock Wood, Banjo Kazooie, key of C major. Here we open with an intro similar to a newly popped sprout wiggling off the dirt to greet the spring sun. The harmony revolves around 1, 5, 1, 1, 4, 1. That's C, G, C, C, F, C. A friendly forest walk through some of the most familiar chords in Western music. But here's what really makes it sing: the rhythm. Triplets dominate, giving the whole track a lilting, jiggy-like motion. There's a playfulness baked right into the time signature. The drums and rhythm section layer in a sylvatic atmosphere. It feels like tapping tree bark with a paw. And when chromatic tones show up, they're not there to scare, they're there to bounce. They reinforce the melody instead of building tension. A chromatic descent brings the main theme back with more energy, like taking a twisty slide through the underbrush and popping back up quickly. Now, let's climb to the canopy. It's time for part B. Here, we hit that transition with a chromatic descent. The harmony shifts underfoot, sneaky modulations with a hint of drama. There is a C sharp leading into an A major, suggesting a tonicization of D minor. Not diatonic to C major, but it works like a squirrel surprise. New voices enter. The melody jumps more. The harmony now adds E major, D7, and G. It's still playful, but the playground got taller. This is a forest that's live, but it's not dangerous, it's welcoming, bouncy, and a little silly. That's the magic of rhythm forward writing in a simple key. It smells like sunlit bark and wind-blown pollen. Everything's in bloom. Now, let's visit a sweeter forest with a mysterious twist. Lush Forest, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, key of E minor. Here, we have a more expansive progression. 1, 4, 1, 4, 6, 7, 1. That's E minor, A, E minor, A, C, D, E minor. The repeating tonic and fourth make it feel cyclical, but the modal shifts give it a sense of motion. There's something underneath. E minor is treated as a pedal point in multiple sections. Measure 5 and measure 13 both use E as a harmonic root to ground the track. Minimalism and repetition give this piece a slow build. Jonathan's style development, reminiscent of his opera Nixon in China. Here, you're walking upward through fog, but you can see the summit. There is cultural depth here too. The pan flute used throughout gives it a distinctly Indian flavor. Traditional, organic, deeply rooted in nature. You're climbing higher, the leaves thin. You can feel the wind pick up. Here, things evolve. More melodic interplay. There's a development section around A major and C major again. But this time, the rhythm breaks away. More free, more expressive. Suddenly, the flute becomes a duet. A counter melody swirls like vines, layering on the ostinato below. The modal mixture grows denser, but never dissonant. It's all anticipation. The scent shifts, richer now, like damp moss and flowering herbs. These two might differ in instrumentation and rhythm, but their shapes are similar: strong pedal tones, full-like chord loops, and melodies that leap instead of growl. There is that feeling of something just about to begin. Click Clock Wood gives you a full jig in the sun. Lush Forest gives you spiraling leaves on a windless day. Two different journeys, both born of joy, rhythm, and harmonic simplicity. That's what makes them sweet. Musty forests are grounded, ancient. They echo with open fifths, ritualistic drones, and a kind of musical gravity that makes you sit down and listen. How about a great example of the Musty Type from a truly beautiful game, Thorntail Hollow, Star Fox Adventures, key of B-flat major. There's not much happening on paper, just a 165 to 4, that's B-flat major to E-flat major. But what matters is how long it holds each one. The piece stretches out to the fourth chord like a drone, rooting you in place. The melody? Gentle, breathing, almost like a lullaby passed down from moss to mushroom. You can practically hear the warpstone saying, "Nobody brings me gifts anymore." The chords alone aren't complex, but they don't have to be. The ambient textures, long pads, and flute-like voices create a ceremonial space. This is a sacred groove. You don't explore it, you belong to it. It invokes a primal, relaxing environment, a perfect welcome song to Dinosaur Planet. Now, grab a vine and let's swing through the forest frenzy from Donkey Kong Country. Key of G major with heavy use of modal harmony. This track's real trick is the interplay between G mixolydian and D mixolydian modes. It loops over a G pedal and drifts subtly between scales. Harmonically, it's minimal. We hear 165, 1 suspended 4, 165, 1 suspended 2, variations of G major chords. But rhythmically, this track is brutal. There's an ostinato with constant rhythmic displacement. The more it moves, the more bars are added. Percussion, counterlines, tension. It's like the forest is fighting back. The percussion, claves, and rustic instruments make it feel tactile, like bouncing across mushrooms and plucking tight spiderwebs. Thorntail Hollow roots you. Force frenzy drives you. Both use minimal harmonic movement but rhythmic density and texture to create a sense of ancient weight. It's musty, earthy, and damp, like that hippie who's always on the beach. The roots go deep and the vines keep on swinging. Now for my favorite, catnip type. Minty type. Forest, not of branches, but of refreshingly flavorful whispers. These pieces shimmer in soft, cool colors and strange intervals. They're not just minty, they're magical. First, Eterna Forest, Pokemon Diamond Pearl, key of G major. We open with a 1 major 7, 4 9, 4 sharp 11, 7 half diminished 7, 1 major 7 progression. That's G major 7, C 9, C sharp 11, F sharp half diminished 7, G major 7. Each chord glides into the next like a beam of moonlight. There's no conventional cadence, no 5 1. Instead, we have broken resolutions, extended chords, and colorful alterations. At bar 17, we briefly modulate B minor, adding C sharp for a glimmer of new color. The result? Magic! You're not grounded here, you're floating. It's a greenish blue fog, a sunny glade, a glimmering canopy. Oh, and that delightful scent of catnip. Okay, shall we continue? Next up is Quiet Forest from our classic Curvy 64, key of C major, but with hints of A minor. This piece is built around 1-9, flat 7-9, and back to 1-9. Then transitions through 7-9, flat 7-9, flat 6-9, 5, flat 5-9. So C9, B flat 9, C9, and on through some rich chromatic motion. All major chords, but used with asymmetrical melodies and sneaky modulations. It feels like transformation. There's melodic development between sections, almost like the forest is telling you a secret in riddles. It's friendly, but shy. Even the harmonic language, colorful major nines, feels glassy, crystalline. The instrumentation uses a synth flute, with bell-like percussion from a celesta or glockenspiel. This song reminds me of a vibe I get from many JRPGs out there. Eterna floats, quiet forest flickers. Both pieces shimmer in extended harmony, modal ambiguity, and unspoken tension. It's quite a type. But we got one more for today, and I think I'm gonna like it. Finally, the pungent forest. The one that doesn't smell, it reads. It's either haunted or hilariously off. These are the tracks that made you feel like something's behind you. Naturally, we'd start with the Forest Temple team from Ocarina of Time. But before we do, we got another stank to sniff. Oh boy, Choco Who Woods, baby. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, key of G major, but nearly everything is based on the whole tone scale. We see 6 augmented to 2 flat 5 over and over. That's E augmented to 8 double flat 5. then 6 augmented to 7 augmented. The pedal notes reinforce the feeling of G, but nothing here resolves cleanly. Whole tone melodies float like fluffy dandelion heads with nowhere to land. Syncopation, odd intervals, and off-kilter harmonies made this track sound spicy and a little drunk. This creates a mysterious, silly mood. You're deep in a goofy, cursed forest full of bad mushrooms and even worse jokes. The scale choice is everything. It doesn't lead anywhere. That's why it's funny. That's why it's unnerving. And now, the real pungent powerhouse, Forest Temple, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, key of A major and E mixolydian. The progression moves through 1 7, 1 7, or 1 flat 2, 1 7 1. It's not consistent, but that's the point. The pedal tones and dissonant fragments hang like vines. You're not grounded here. You're suspended like that patch of vines you can hook shot to. The bamboo rattles remind you of something rustling the bushes around you. The use of E-mixolydian gives it an ancient, eerie tone, sparse instrumentation with chant-like melody. There is no resolution. The harmony hovers and recedes. And when you add that iconic reverb and free rhythm, the vocals really pop, like freshly bloomed clumps. It doesn't just feel like moss growing over sacred stone, it is moss. This forest level doesn't invite you, it traps you in a place no longer holy. That's pungent. Sweet forest, lived with rhythm and familiarity. Musty ones, drawn and pulse beneath your paws. Minty ones, glimmer with mottled fog. And pungent ones, they twist, shimmer, and laugh from behind the trees. These songs don't just sound like forest, they embody the musical logic of them. Simplicity versus complexity, pedal tones, modal harmony, extended chords, chromatism, all tuned to mimic the untamed, the organic, the wild. That's why they sound and feel forestry, and the composers knew exactly what they were doing. Got a favorite forest track? One that makes your ears tingle and your nose twitch? Drop it in the comments. And if you're curious, and I know you are, or maybe you just love music, games, or cats, hit subscribe. Next time on the Curiosity Bop, we're going hotter, stranger, maybe even tastier? Let's pop!